The last bank I left were paying me 600,000. I woke up one day and resigned. So people thought it's village people. I offer very valuable advice to these businessmen, to these CEOs, most of who eventually became my friends. From 2010 and all that, I became a bit stable financially. I had my own house, I had a car, and I had some level of comfort.
Welcome again to another exciting moment with the Passionist Media. Today we're going to be bringing to you something exciting, something new, something you've never experienced before. So what we are doing today is to tell you a story, give you an insight into some of the stories of people who are doing great things, amazing things out there, from businesses to agriculturalists to so many other things that you'd want to learn from. So while you sit back and relax and enjoy and get one thing or the other, which we ensure you that you're going to get, don't forget to click the subscribe button and subscribe to our content if you enjoy our content or any of our content, and look forward to seeing more from us. And also, you can go ahead and turn on the notification button so as to be the first to know. And each time our content comes up, you get notified about that. And lastly, please make sure you drop a comment for us, and also share this with your friends and loved ones so that more people can be reached and we can continue bringing you such amazing content. Also, we have a surprise package that's coming from you in our subsequent content. So look forward to that surprise package. It's something you want to hear. So let's go and see you.
My name is Oliver Uchichukwueze. Incidentally, I'm a certified engineer, but I'm not practicing. So sometimes I feel hesitant to add engineer, but then I end it, so I'm an engineer. So I'm engineer Oliver Uchichukwueze. I'm the principal partner of Nectar Road Consulting, a consultancy firm that is solely known in this Abuja for our HR, human resources management functions. We carry out trainings. We are certified by the National Council for Management Development and Center for Management Development. So we have over time organized trainings for various organizations, private establishments, banks, corporate organizations, government agencies, ministries, developments, and departments and agencies. So it's my pleasure to be here as well.
Well, awesome.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. So we're looking at basically yourself and your story,
okay.
And how it inspires the young people, the giant stride, the bold steps you had to take in order for you to get to...
Patrick, my story is very, very, very vast.
Oh.
My story is very long, and
right.
well, I will try my best to abbreviate.
All right. So what we can do today is to be able to see how we can summarize as much as possible and get straight to the very in details of what is the thing. But to start with, how did you start with the journey into consultancy and your firm to start with?
Okay, so like I have already mentioned, I went into the university to study engineering. I graduated from University of Nigerians in 2005. That's a long time ago. Yeah. I did my youth service in Bauchi State, and straight from my youth service, I got banking job. At the time we finished our service, all those 2005, 6, 7, banking was the highest employer of labor in Nigeria, and every smart graduates at that time who wanted to work in the bank would have gotten a job in the bank. So I was one of those that secured a job in one of the foremost banks in Nigeria, and being that I studied engineering and my kind of person, I am a very active and creative person. I only went into the bank because that was the available job. And soon as I started my banking journey, I discovered that it wasn't the place for me, right? Of course, I had started earning money, and then the money was attractive, and I had to stay behind to earn that money because there was no viable alternative, right? If I left the banking at the time, I wasn't sure I was going to earn money as much as I was earning in the bank. So I had to remain in the banking industry for quite a while. But having realized that banking was not my thing, I quickly started expanding my thoughts. I started expanding my horizons, looking at options. One of the good things about my early career in banking is that the bank exposed me to a lot of trainings. So each time I went for training, I told myself that, look, I think I can actually be a trainer. I think I can do what these guys are doing. Then all the consultants that trained us came from either Lagos or Enugu or Port Harcourt and things like that. And each time I went for any training, I established contact with one of the trainers. I had to approach them after each class to discuss with them. I mean, I can do this. I think I can do this. Can I stay close to you? Can I speak to you on phone? Can we be friends? You know, sometimes they will oblige me. Sometimes some of them were hesitant and things like that, naturally, you know. As a matter of fact, if I still go to my archives, I can find some of those cards, you know, that I was collecting from this guy.
Wow.
And it started arousing my interest, and I started developing myself, you know, when I told myself that, look, these guys doing this training for us are not necessarily better than me. I think I can do even better than what they are doing. So I developed interest in that area. I started reading up. I started preparing myself, you know. Then I had that as one of my options, and then I had an eye to work for an international organization like the United Nations and things like that. So I focused in these two areas. I was going to be either a trainer or I get a job with an international organization. So because I was very passionate about my thoughts, about my plans, I started looking at how can I prepare myself to achieve these plans, right? Yeah. So for the international organization, I told myself that, okay, I carried out a research and found out that for you to work in an international organization, one of the basic requirements is that you must have masters. You must have an additional language like French or Spanish or whatever. And then in that line, I told myself, okay, I think the first thing I should do is to quickly go and get a master's. You know, so I went into, then I was working in bank in Kaduna, and of course, from 2010 and all that, I became a bit stable financially. I had my own house, I had a car, and I had some level of comfort. So I registered with the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA in Kaduna, to get a master's degree. So in 2011, I obtained a master's in international relations. And in 2012, just the next year, I told myself, hey, I'm not going to stop here. Move on. I entered ABU, got admission to do masters in my engineering, and I started masters in engineering. In 2017, I got my masters in engineering from Ahmadu Bello University, and I was ready. I was ready to move on, you know. Now, before that, 2017, when I had already gotten my masters from ABU, with all the self-development programs I was involved in, certifications and here and there, I started doing consultancy, small, you know. When I see small businesses come to the bank, I advise them, offer professional services to them. And so it came back to me that, look, what I'm doing for the bank is actually what I think I may need to do on my own. Because basically what I was doing in the bank was consultancy, even though it was never called consultancy. But I told myself that, look, I offer very valuable advice to these businessmen, to these CEOs, most of who eventually became my friends. They could call me at any time, take me to their offices, I advise them, offer some kind of services to them. So I told myself that what I'm doing here is what I can actually do for myself and get going, you know. So of course I was very careful not to encounter this conflict of interest in. I continued to engage with my clients at the bank, you know, at that consultancy level. And at the time when I told myself that, see, I'm ready to go, the first step I took was to get my transfer from Kaduna to Abuja. Getting my transfer from Kaduna to Abuja was a step forward to leave the bank. So I got my transfer, moved from Kaduna to Abuja, and immediately when I got here, my spirit was no more in the bank, actually. My spirit, I was already prepared to move on.
You're done.
I was done with banking. I was done with banking.
I can get that feeling.
Yeah, I was just always bodily present in the office and then absent-minded, so to speak, in as much as I still did my work diligently. You know. So one day, a young man came into the bank, and he came in to open an account for a consultancy firm. Incidentally, he met me. So when I went through his document and I saw that he was opening an account for a consultancy firm, and being somebody within my age bracket, I quickly engaged him. I said, I mean, his name is Shegu Lawal. I said, Shegu, I'm really interested in the business you are about running. Are you the owner of this firm? He said, yeah, that he's a consultant. That even though he's working somewhere, but this is his personal, you know,
side hustle.
Side hustle. You know, I told him, well, it's interesting to know that we have both, we have interest in the same kind of side hustle. I'm also a consultant, even though I'm sitting here. The guy was looking at me incredibly. You know, when we just these days, he tells me that then he was seeing me as one guy in the bank. How can I come and be talking about this thing. You know? But like joke, I continued worrying him. I continued disturbing him, following up with him, until he invited me for one training in Abuja. And I told him, look, I'm ready to come, even pro bono. I'm ready to do this training pro bono. I just needed a platform to establish myself, to give people, clients, impression that, look, I can do it. I can do it. So it was not about the money. And that is where most people actually have challenges. When you are starting off a business, when you're starting to commercialize your scale, you may not necessarily emphasize money at the beginning. You know, try to establish yourself, try to create that confidence in your clients to be able to believe in you before you talk about money. I remember those days when I went out for Shegu to that training. After doing my own session, the clients came from behind and told me that they would want me to be handling their trainings. I told them, okay, no problem, but I had to go back and tell Shegu, look at what is happening, so that I won't be like biting the finger that fed you and all that. Wow. Shegu allowed me. They gave me my first training in Wuse 2, what's the name of that hotel, behind First 40 Hotels, you know, somewhere there. So they gave me a training where I trained all their state representatives, and from there it's been very, very awesome. It's been very, very rewarding. You know, I put in a whole lot of work, I put in a whole lot of commitments. I don't sleep at night. I work all night, almost every day. You know, probably because, of course, now I have the clients. But then I kept writing proposals to organizations. I would look at a hotel, at an hospital. I would tell them that, look, the services of your clients is not top notch. Your workers do not, the way they attend to people is not what a service industry should be, you know. If you can give me the opportunity, I can come and train your staff. Just give me one day, I will come and train your staff free. Most of those people turned me down as at then, and I can tell you that today, majority of them cannot even afford my services. You know, so that is how life is. And this is just a brief of my story, actually. You know, from banking to consulting.
I like that twist and that switch. I mean, not twist now, but the switch of going into, you know, because I think that is one of the major challenges that a lot of people, young people have, where you're trying to switch in from, if I leave this banking job, but there was that sweetness of, you are still in the banking and still looking out to see other opportunities that would come up and all that. And it's been nice because there are lots of questions I wanted to ask that you have in between the lines answered, and I'm sure that a whole lot of people will be learning from this. But I want to know, you've talked a little about, you know, some issues, but now practicing in full, has there been challenges, or it's always been a rosy part for you?
Definitely, it cannot be rosy all through. It cannot be rosy all through. I will come back to this question, but I want to touch something before I come back to this question. Talking about my switch from banking to what I do now is something that I would like to talk about at all times, because I worked in the bank for 13 years. And I think I can beat my chest and say that I'm a consummate, or rather I was a consummate banker. I understand a lot of things within the banking sector. As we speak today, most bankers feel trapped. They feel trapped. They don't exactly like what they are doing, but they find it difficult to leave because, like in their words, fear of the unknown. There's this fear of the unknown, leaving their comfort zone. Banking is one area that if they say your salary is to be paid on 5th of a month, sometimes on 5th, even before you leave your house to office, you would have received your alert, right? So there is no question of 1 hour delay or 1 day delay or strike or something like that.
And so imagine going out to
go and get civil service job where sometimes for 3 months they have not paid, and some people are discussing how to go on strike and all that. Banking never experiences any of such, you know. So a banker can tell you, Patrick, please give me 20,000 naira. I'm going to pay you on 15th. Be rest assured that that man will not fail. Give them that what I call now false comfort, that this amount is guaranteed to come in this day unfailingly. Nothing, no factor can affect it. You know, so it gives them that comfort, which is false comfort. A lot of them know that it is false because the money they are paying you, they could tell you that they are paying you 500,000, they are paying you 700,000. By the way, the last bank I left, they were paying me 600,000. I woke up one day and resigned So people thought it's village people.
I'm sure they are not saying it that way.
People told me that it's village people. Yes.
Yeah.
You know what happened? I went to Banana Island to do training. And then I was still in the bank. I had to lie to my supervisor that, look, I'm going to see a customer. Meanwhile, I had 1 o'clock flight to catch to go to Lagos. So when I got to Lagos, as I checked into my hotel, I told myself, look, this lady I lied to is a lady that I should not, it's not a lady, it's not a very comfortable thing for me to have lied, but I needed to do that job. That job, as at that time, was going to pay me less than $1 million. You know, so as I entered into my hotel room, I kept wearing the guilt that, okay, I told a lie to this lady. I told a lie to this lady. Should I continue to lie like this? Should I continue? I said, no, I don't have to continue lying. I think I should just resign. Let me face my side hustle, you know. So I went back to the receptionist in the hotel, told her, please, young lady, can you help me with a plain sheet? She gave me a plain sheet. I went to my bed. I just kept my box, you know, on the bed. I wrote my resignation letter. I used my phone. I didn't even tell my wife. I didn't tell anybody. Because people will give me $1 million and one reason why I should not resign. I used my phone, scanned the letter, sent it to my regional manager. The next thing, her call came in. Why? Oliver, what is this? I said, ma'am, I actually told you lie in the morning. As we speak, I'm in Lagos. I didn't go to see any customer. I'm in Lagos for a training. And I feel, I think I have to go on with what I'm doing. I should leave this your banking thing. She said, no, Oliver, no, that's not enough. Don't worry, when are you coming back? That was a Friday. I told her I was going to come back on Tuesday, just to discourage her that I won't be around on Monday. I said, I'm going to come back on Tuesday. She said, no problem, anytime you come back, come to my office, let's see. So, I did my training over the weekend, came back to Abuja on Monday, waited till Tuesday. I went to her house, you know. She was telling me, you know, this country is difficult, you are earning a good money, you are this one, that one. I said, madam, I'm done. I have to move on. You know, I have to move on to build my own business. And that is how I moved on, actually. Since I moved on, you asked, it's not been rosy all the way. There have been challenges here and there, like any other business. But I would say, frankly speaking, that I've been one of the very lucky people. I've been a very lucky entrepreneur. I won't attribute my achievements or my success to my hard work. I work very hard though. I work very, very hard. But I know that I'm not the hardest worker, you know. So in as much as I work hard, there's that element of luck in it.
Should we call it grace?
Grace. You know, I'm always careful using religious
yeah,
languages.
We know what to stand for, so grace. You can say the word grace.
Okay. So it could be grace,
yes.
You know, if you insist. So after I resigned, I made it public. You see, like the face cap I'm wearing is my brand.
Yeah, wow.
I designed my brand, vest, face cap. I came out. I knew that the salary, the guaranteed salary, has ceased.
Yeah.
I have a family. I have a wife. I have a car. I have so many things that may require instant money at any time. I have no excuse. I don't want to go and beg anybody. I don't want to call anybody on phone. Guy, how far? I need 10,000. I don't want any of such things. You know. So what did I do? I had to launch out. I used every opportunity to market my business. I used every opportunity. If I get one business, I must make sure that I deliver 1,000% to be able to give my clients the confidence that this guy has done more than what we agreed. To be able to give me referral and to be able to give me repeat businesses. You know, and it has really, really worked, and it's still working. I got through my advert and all that. One of my classmates, when I was doing masters in ABU Zaria, linked me up to a certain project with an international organization. I got the contract, and I did my best to deliver, and I delivered. And since then, we've been working together. From there, I've been getting other contracts with other international organizations, other clients here and there. Wow. You know, and to a large extent, it's been a very smooth ride. You know.
Yeah. So yes, talking about the smoothness of the ride. So you could tell us a little, if you don't mind, about some of the good part of taking this decision that you've taken. Because I must tell you, I don't think it was this funny when you were taking that decision.
No.
So some of the, you know, maybe achievements or anything that you want to share with people.
The part of the smooth ride is that at least I don't lack clients at any time. You know, when I was waiting for you downstairs, I had to bring out my laptop to tidy up things. The only challenge I have now actually is that I need to recruit staff, I need to get an office, I need to expand and reorganize my business so that all the work would not be on my head.
Yeah.
That is what I can consider as a challenge as it is now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, otherwise it's been very smooth because I've been getting clients back to back.
Yeah.
Nothing discourages an entrepreneur like when you don't have patronage. You have the capacity to render services, you have the products to sell, but nobody comes knocking.
Yeah.
You know, that is very discouraging, that is very demoralizing, and I have not found myself in that state for now, and that's why I said it's been a very smooth ride so far.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So for people who are trying to go into consultancy, for instance, who want to do something similar to what you're doing, how would one start? Is there a step-to-step guide? I know you've already talked about some of this nitty-gritty, but just giving a pitch, a 1-minute pitch to somebody who's looking at you who wants to become like you. What are the...
Okay, if you go to my Instagram page, incidentally, yesterday or so, I posted something that addresses this question. Oh. I'm not going to revisit that post. Maybe you can visit my Instagram page, Nectar Road Consulting. You know, you will see what I posted yesterday. Now, to answer the question headlong, you don't wake up and say, I want to go into consulting. Or you see that Mikel Obi is earning 100,000 pounds per week, and you say, I want to be a footballer.
Yeah.
Or you see that Davido is paid 10 million to come and perform in a night, and then you say, I want to be a musician. So my advice to people is to identify what you have passion for. You need to identify what works well with you and develop it. What people don't know is that no matter what your passion is, there is market for everything. There is market for everything, right? So whatever gives you happy, joy, whatever comes to you naturally, you need to look into that angle very well and see what you can develop out of it. So for people who has the passion for consultancy, how do they know that they have passion for consultancy? That is one question. I will answer it. For people who do not have passion for consultancy, and probably because you see that Oliver is doing well as a consultant, you want to go into it, I'm sorry, it may not work out well for you, right? Now, why did I realize that I can become a consultant? How did I know that I can become a consultant? I knew by the fact that within my family circle, among my friends, I'm somebody who likes advising people, right? I see this person doing this. I find it very seamless. It comes to me naturally to call you and say, guy, this thing you are doing, you can do it better like this. Don't you think like this? Don't you think like that? I easily advise people. At the time, some people started calling me that this guy feels he knows so much. This guy is ITK or something like that, you know. Then I also discovered at a time that people come to me naturally to say, please, I want to do this. I know you must be able to think through and tell me this. So I told myself at a point that, look, I can commercialize this thing. What is consulting? I went and read Peter Drucker's book. Peter Drucker is considered the father of consultancy, right? He's an American. He's an author of a lot of management books, Peter F. Drucker. So I went and read his book, and I discovered that, in fact, what I've been doing all this while is consultancy, right? That's one. Two, well, if it means blowing my trumpet, I think I have to do that. I was considered as being very intelligent when I was in school. I didn't graduate with first class anyway, so I don't believe that I was.
I think that is not, they say examination is not a true test of brilliance.
My dear brother, anybody that graduated with first class, come out your cap for the person. That is it. No matter how, that is the people I consider being very intelligent. So because people looked at me as being very intelligent, I like, in addition to advising people, I have this oratory prowess. I can speak. Public speaking is not my problem. So a lot of people who try to, on their own, do mathematics on my behalf, this guy, you are intelligent. 2, you can advise people. 3, you can speak well. Go and be a lecturer now.
Yes, I talk sense into people.
You know, so people say, this guy, what fits you is just to be a lecturer. Go and be a lecturer, you know, and things like that. So, but I told myself that, okay, yeah, maybe I may be a lecturer sometimes in the future. But for now, no. I don't want to go and be a lecturer for now. You know, so what is the closest thing to lecturing? I told myself, okay, I can do training. And remember, like I said, immediately I entered the banking and started attending trainings, I told myself, I like to do this. So weaving all these things together, I was able to say, okay, a trainer, a consultant is a trainer as well. You know, consultancy is very, very wide. There are engineering consultants, there are medical consultants, consultancy covers a whole lot of grounds. There are consultants that do not train. Management consultants often train. You know, we do a lot of things. And they are all things that it comes to me naturally. And so put them together, I told myself that this is the most suitable thing I can do for a living. So if you don't have the passion, if you don't have these skills, my dear brother, I wouldn't advise you to just wake up and say, I want to go into consulting, because it takes a lot. Every night I quarrel with my daughter because oh, come and be pulling me. Daddy, you're always on your laptop. Come and play with us. You're always on your laptop. You know? So consultancy is not a child's play. It's very, very tasking. It's very, very tasking. My best friend is my laptop. If I'm not writing one report, I'm designing one business restructuring or structuring, or I'm preparing PowerPoint slides for a certain training and presentations and all that.
Wow, so, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for all this. One more, some other questions that I wanted to ask is, if I know you're a trained engineer, but for instance, if you weren't doing and then you worked in the bank again, which is almost like you're just everywhere. But if you weren't doing this, if you weren't doing working as an entrepreneur or doing consultancy, for instance, what would you be doing?
That's a very tough question. It's a very tough question in the sense that I have multiple capabilities. You know, I have multiple capabilities, and in as much as I may not be able to say specifically that this is what I would have been doing, I think I've already mentioned one. Probably I would have lazily gone into lecturing or into research. Another side of me that people don't know is that I can actually act movies very, very well. Wow. Oh, I can act movies very, very well. I can act movies very, very well. I was involved in an auditioning that Actors Guild of Nigeria came to do. That was 2009 in Kaduna. Wow. And I just bumped into them and I decided to do. And at the end of the day, they brought one very big award for me that I was the best actor, you know, and things like that. And I used to boast for my wife that, look, I can act very well. All these Nollywood people, there is error in this person's acting. It's not natural, you know. She'll be laughing and yabbing me up and down. But I know that I could have probably been an actor or something.
You'd have done good anyway, but it's still never late. You know, acting sometimes can be a part-time thing. So maybe one of these days we'll call you to come and act for us.
That'd be nice.
All right. So this is like one of the most strategic questions that I like to ask. And on this part, I'll probably like you to just look into the camera and just talk about it. So it's more like your parting words and basically your advice to young people out there. There's like, before we started, we're having some other conversation with respect to what's happening in our country today, Nigeria. Because anybody might listen to you and be like, oh, let me leave my job and just start and all that. So what's your advice in just 1 minute, if you don't mind? Okay,
thank you. Dear viewers, my advice to every one of us, because of course I'm still included, is we need to pay attention to very important things first. There's this book by Steve R. Covey, First Things First. We need to identify first things in our lives. Me as a person, I have always been someone that longs for knowledge. I take my time to read books. I take my time to listen to people. I take my time to learn. When I see somebody who is like somebody I want to be like, I will take my time to study that person, right? So you want to be a footballer, you want to be a consultant, you want to be an engineer. There are established personalities in these fields. Look at them. Go and read their biographies if they are available. Study what they have been able to do to get to where they are. One of our greatest undoings today is that youth will see Dangote as a billionaire and think that Dangote was just born as a billionaire. No, it doesn't work like that. He started from somewhere. There is a story. There is an organic growth. There are processes to everything. Make sure you are interested in the process, not just in the output. To be interested in the output without being interested in the process is what gives birth to what we have today as Yahoo boys and Yahoo girls. People want to make money without following through the activities that can give you money. So my simple advice is, please hearken to the process, pay attention to the process that gives the result you are seeing. We talk about Cristiano Ronaldo as a footballer, we talk about Messi as a footballer. How many of us know or remember that when the team finish their training session, some of these players stay back to train more because they don't want to give just normal output. They want to give a super output. And so they put in more energy, they put in more time, they invest into what they want. So my dear listeners, my dear viewers, my advice is be very interested in the process. Build yourself, develop yourself, invest time, invest resources. That way, if you are consistent, if you have your eye on the goal, definitely you will achieve whatever you set out to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for the time, and I'm sure that the viewers to carry something home. Personally, I've got to learn a lot of things from just having this conversation, and I know that a lot of people would get that. At the end of this, we're going to be putting the link to his Instagram page, and also so you can actually follow him up and know if you have a need to train under him, be a mentee under him. I'm sure you accept mentees.
I have so many mentees.
Yeah, so because that's one of the things that's lacking right now in our country, where a lot of people don't look up to nobody. Everybody thinks I can stand on my own, I can do this. So he will be available to mentor you, and also if you need any consultancy, sort of, you can check out his Instagram page and also follow him up, and then he's going to give you that consultancy as need be. And see you again on our next episode, and bye. God bless you.